Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and after a long wait and many requests, I'm finally bringing out an updated end of 2017 how to install Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. There was a pretty substantial update that was pushed out for Medieval Kingdoms, I believe about 2 months ago, and since then you guys have been asking for an updated version of how to install it, and I'm happy to deliver that for you today. Now, there's a couple of things that have changed, so it makes it actually a lot simpler now to install Medieval Kingdoms 1212 than it was in my previous video. If you remember from my previous video, you actually had to download WinRare and then download the extra packs from the Google Drive, and then you had to unpack them yourself and then put them into the data folder. But this time, we actually only have to use the installers. So the modders have put together installers that actually unpack the files right into the data folder for you. So we'll walk through all of that. And let's get started. So basically, I just have to open up my Steam here. And then the first thing, obviously, that you're going to need is Total War Attila. So I've got my game right there. And if we scroll down here, hit Browse the Workshop, because all of the mods for Total War Attila are found under this workshop. Well, most of them are. Some of them are at ModDB because they're too large to be uploaded to Steam. But if we start to type in Medieval Kingdoms here, you should see it pop up. So there's a couple of them, but these are kind of just sub-mods for it, or like different language packs. This is the one you want right here by Warman, and you can see it's got 5 stars. It's a very popular mod. So you just go ahead and click on that. And then the first thing we need to do is subscribe to the base. So just go ahead and hit subscribe. Very easy. And then you're going to see I've got something downloading in my downloads bar right now. And that's actually the Medieval Kingdoms base downloading. And then you can read the instructions here, but there's really no point just because I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So basically there's 2 installer links here. So we've got this Google Drive installer link, and we've got this one as well. So we're going to need both of these files. So if you click on the first one to get it loaded up, and then you can hit download, and you can see Medieval Kingdoms Installer Part 1. It's 1.5 gigabytes. I always stress to you guys to make sure to check your file sizes, because once this is finished, you want to make sure that it's all there. You go ahead and click download anyway, just like that, and then you can see it starting to download in the bottom hand corner of the screen. And then we got to do the same for the second one as well. So go ahead and click on the other Google Drive link. Download. And then you can see this is Medieval Kingdoms Installer Part 2, and it's 1.6 gigabytes. So download that anyway as well. So there you go. You can see you've got the two folders starting to download here. I'm going to cancel them because I already have it installed. But you guys basically just need to wait until this is all finished. So you can go ahead and pause the video here, and then when both of these files are complete, then we can continue the video from there. So basically, I just have to close all of these now, because I don't really need them. And I come into my Steam. And when I open up my downloads folder, you can see here's the installers right here. So we got Medieval Kingdoms Installer Part 1. And remember I said the file size. So there it is at the bottom hand corner of the screen, 1.5. And we got 1.6, so that's perfect. That's the exact sizes we needed for that. And basically, this is really easy. This is all you have to do. So we're going to start with Medieval Kingdoms Installer Part 1. So we double-click on that. And it's going to load up this little installer wizard after several minutes. And I'm going to be doing all of this in real time for you guys, so it's going to kind of seem redundant, but you'll understand why I'm doing that in a second. There we go. So it's finally loaded up. And basically it's saying, welcome to the installer, so we hit next. And yep, it's going to install the first 2 MK Models packs, so hit next. Now this is where we have to stop and really make sure that we're putting it in the right spot. Because if you look for me, if I open another File Explorer, and just drag it to the side here, if you guys are wondering how to do that, I think for Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 7, it's all the same, but if you right-click and you just hit File Explorer again, it'll give you a second copy. But my Attila is saved on this C drive here. This is my SSD. So this is the correct pathway for me because if we kind of match it here, so it's saying local C, and then it's saying program files 86, and then Steam apps common. So Steam apps common, and then Total War Attila data. Good. So this is exactly correct for me. But if you guys don't have your Total War Attila saved on the C drive like this, then you need to change this to something else. So if I back out here to my drives, and let's say I had it saved on my D drive, which I don't have anything on currently. So basically you just have to click this little icon over on this side. And if we scroll on down here, so there's my new volume D. So you can see nothing's going to pop up there, but if your Attila was saved on a different drive, it'll populate with some folders that say Steam apps, common, Total War Attila data, and then you just have to hit OK. Like that, okay? But for those of you that kind of have it saved on your C drive or your first drive, then this is exactly correct. So let's go ahead and hit next and start. And now this is kind of where we're just going to wait for a little while and watch. But as you guys can see, mine immediately moves to not responding. It looks like it's crashed and it's frozen at 33%. I'm sure your guys' installers have been frozen as well. So let's just leave it for a bit. I'm going to kind of be quiet here, take a sip of water, and after about a couple of minutes or so, you'll see that it's finally loaded up. And if you're following my video in real time, then we should kind of be on the same page with yours loading up at about the same time. So we'll just give it a couple minutes here. I really try not to skip too many steps in my install videos because I find with a lot of people that put out videos like that, they just say, yep, go ahead, click installer 1. Okay, yep, it's done for me, perfect. Or I'll cut this out and we'll get back to it once it's finished. But then you don't see all of this stuff that's happening in between where it's saying programs are not responding and it's frozen at 33% and that kind of stuff. And I think the first time that I installed this, I actually closed the program a couple times, and then it continually froze on 33% and said not responding, and so I actually just left it for a little while, and I was just playing around on Attila or something. I played a game or something, and then it just magically popped up as being finished. But obviously this is something that I wish the modders would try to look into, because for people that aren't really computer savvy, like I've installed a ton of mods, and as a YouTuber now, I've actually done a lot of install mod videos as well, so I'm kind of used to this kind of stuff. But to just the basic Total War fan, this can be really confusing for people to have it freeze like this. So oh, look what's going on. It's 66%, so it's doing something. So it's low, and it's back to not responding. But just leave it. You just got to be patient with these mods. That's the thing, is a lot of people will get on and they'll comment on my video, say, oh, it's not working, or I'm having so much trouble with this, I'm having so much trouble with that. But a lot of times, if you just leave it, honestly, 5-10 minutes, just give it time, it will 9 times out of 10 work out. You just gotta be patient with these things. And these mods are definitely not as easy to install as I make them. I have to kind of fumble through it on my own, and when I finally get it working, then it's usually just like a 10 or 20 minute video for you guys on how to install it, and it seems to really help a lot of people, which is good. Definitely good. And I think with this new Medieval Kingdoms version, basically what the update did, I don't know the whole of it, But I think they did add one faction. I think it's an Ottoman faction, or it's another Eastern faction. And they've actually changed a lot of the game mechanics as well, as far as, if you're running your troops around all of the time and they get really, really tired, the more tired they get, because they go from fresh to active to winded. It's finished. So next, and exit. So good. The first one is installed. But yeah, I think the more you run your troops, they actually get a loss in their melee attack and melee defense. So it's really crucial to not run your troops everywhere. You have to really be calm with it and kind of walk them until they get close enough to engage. But anyway, so that's the first one done. So I'm just gonna go into my local C. Program files 86. Again, just following the pathway to Total War Attila's data folder. Steam apps, common, Total War Attila, data, and then if we start to scroll down here, so we got MK Models 1 and MK Models 2, which are here, so it's good so far. So now we just have to finish the installer number 2. So we'll double click on that, wait for that to load up. Hopefully you guys are following along okay. I did rush it a little bit more in my original Medieval Kingdoms installer, but I've got some time tonight, so I'll just literally walk you through it step by step. And there it goes. It's going to pop up again. Saying next. This is the third one. And then again, make sure that you're matching the pathway of the folder. So this automatic one is correct for me. But if you guys have it saved on a different drive, then you're going to need to change that. So, yep, that's good. And start. And then this one's at 50% that it automatically bumps to. And I bet you anything it's going to freeze. It hasn't not responded yet, but looks like it's pretty frozen at 50%. Yep, think it's frozen. So we're just going to have to leave this one too. I can't actually remember when I installed it. I think that this happened as well on the second installer. There was 2 freezes on the first one and 1 freeze on the second one. But again, I'm not going to cut this out. I'd really like you guys to kind of just follow along with me. You guys should be experiencing the exact same thing that I'm experiencing. But yeah, back to what the mod is. So yeah, basically to reiterate what I was saying. Yeah, the more you run your troops, the more tired they get naturally. But it actually kind of plays into a real-life setting. So if you're running, an 80 pounds of armor, you're not going to be fighting as effectively when you're exhausted as you would when you're active. So resting your troops becomes really crucial. And I think that they changed the city towers as well. So they're actually round turreted towers, which look really, really nice. And I think that's all as of so far. But I've also heard that the modders are really working diligently on that campaign. I know a lot of you guys have been asking, will there be a campaign for Medieval Kingdoms? And my answer, as always, is I sure hope so. I don't know 100% or for sure if there is going to be a campaign. It's not an easy thing. A lot of these modders, they're just guys that do this on their free time. They're not getting paid for it or anything. So, and they also have families and lives. So just try to understand that it's not like they work for CA and they're getting paid, the big bucks to bring out new Total War titles. They're doing this as a service to us, just to provide us with some newer content. And from what I can tell by CA's announcement, or their teasers, if you will, about the next Total War titles, I'm sorry to burst a lot of your bubbles, but I'm almost 100% sure that it has nothing to do with the Medieval 3. And that really saddens me as well, because that's what I'm really rooting for. But, if I were to guess, I think that it would be an overhaul. They're talking about a major overhaul for one of their older games, so I'm going to guess that's going to be for Rome 2. And I think they're working on some Saga series, but unfortunately I don't really know too much about it at this stage in the game. But this should be almost done. Couple more minutes here. And again, actually, I forgot to mention this before we started the video, but if you did have an older version of Medieval Kingdoms, I deleted mine before I did this, so it probably would be a good idea to delete it. What I'll do is I'm going to try and pin a comment on that just so people who see probably should delete it first, because I don't want any of these new packs to conflict with the old packs or anything. Chances are the installer program is probably going to be overwriting those files anyways, since they're named the same, but can never be too careful with mods. Haha, there we go. So it's finished. Next and exit. So we can close that out now. And let's just jump back into local C, program files 86, Steam, Steam apps, common, Total War Attila data. And there we go. So we got Medieval Kingdoms 1, Medieval Kingdoms 2, and Medieval Kingdoms 3. And did my base download? It says that it did. Why am I not seeing it here? Well, that's okay. We'll check it when we actually launch Total War Attila. So let's go back into my library. And, oh, yes, one thing that I forgot to mention, too. With the older version, there used to be a medieval king or MK models .ssa or $$A, but that file is no longer needed. I think that the modders just pushed it into these 3 pack folders here, so you should only need these 3, and these 3 should be present in the mod manager along with the base file. So we'll close this. Oh no, I needed Steam. I forgot I don't have a desktop shortcut for Attila anymore. So let's launch this. There we go. And then, so it should come up with this Total War launcher here. And if we hit on Mod Manager, make sure to have this Enable Out-of-Date Mods checked, because sometimes you won't be able to select the mods you need if that's unchecked. And then we should move on over here. Yeah, so there it goes. It has populated in. So I guess we just had to load it up the first time. And then it should be in the data folder now. Yeah, see, there we go. So it's populated there. So good, actually. Troubleshooting right in the video for you guys. But yeah, so we've got this MK base here. And then this MK Buildings 1, I think that's the remodeled skins of the towers that I was telling you guys about. But this will not be present in the mod manager. You don't need to worry about that. Basically, all we're caring about is MK Base, MK Models 1, MK Models 2, and MK Models 3. So if we close that, you can see the bases here, so make sure to check that. And then we've got MK Models 1, MK Models 2, and MK Models 3. So yeah, basically I'm just going to hit play, and I actually have to transfer over with Bandicam. It's really stupid. I have to go into my gaming mode recording for that. But I'm just going to launch this game and show you guys that it works. We'll load up a quick battle so you guys can see that all the models are there, and then we'll end the video. Alright guys, welcome back, and as you can see, we are loaded into Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD. Now, the actual beginning skin is still the same as the last one, so no changes there. If we go into Custom Battle here, you can see all of the factions are listed as such. Most of them are the same, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is the new faction, the Bizarre Voivod, or Voivod. Not exactly sure. Decent roster here. We can just load up with them, I guess. Let's get a couple of these macemen here. We can turn off large armies. That's not needed. And what else would you guys want to see? Maybe a couple of lock crossbows. Gunners, maybe. some good cav. And we'll just go against Burgundy. Just give them a few units here. And let's start the battle. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this mod. If you haven't downloaded it already, I really, because you want to download it. It's in my opinion, one of the Ancient Empires is a close second, but it's just a little bit more incomplete. MK being more available to the public. But it's a pretty rainy day. Let's get our crossbows lined up here. Get our gunners on the flanks. I know you don't really care about this setting up here, but it's nice to kind of see them all in nice tidy lines. It's not like I'm trying to sell the game to you or anything, but so yeah, you can see that if we turn off the HUD there, all of the model skins are in, so it's looking very crisp. And if we start battle, no crashing whatsoever, which seems good. And we'll just quickly clash with the enemy. If you guys want to dip out, then right now you can. But a lot of people just like to see in battles that you can actually clash with the enemy. So we'll just fast forward here. Actually, my cavalry should be finding them very quickly. Can probably actually just charge into them. We'll go for their general here, and over on the other side, probably some of these fire pots are going to get my men. Get a nice charge here to end the video for you guys. And there we go. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found it helpful. And if you guys want to play, just add me on Steam. I've got my own Discord as well. I usually post on there if I'm going to be playing games. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.